Welcome back to Double Dipping. We are here at the Quality Chop House in Farringdon, and I am so excited for today's guest. I am joined by Pierre Koffmann, the godfather of French cookery. Everyone who's anyone has worked beneath him, and he is going to be joining me for a little bit of steak and a catch-up. Pierre, thank you so much for joining me. I know this is not your thing, but I feel honoured that you are sitting back down with me for Double Dipping.
It's always a pleasure to sit with you.
Honestly, it was an honour in 2021, by the way. That was when we met and we recorded the first podcast. And I'm so happy that you've accepted again. I think we should cheers to this moment.
Santé.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. We won't tell the viewers what time it actually is. Very nice. That goes down very nicely at some time in the morning. I haven't seen you actually in a while, but how have you been? How's things going?
Always good, you know. I've been I'm a few years older, so I can feel it time to time with a pain in the back or in the leg, you know. But I'm not complaining, you know. I'm good. I go to the gym and try to keep in good shape, you know.
You know what, actually, I was looking at your Instagram and you do go to the gym a lot. You have some pretty good moves there, no?
Yeah, I go with the guys, they look after us, you know, so he push me a little. So it's always nice to have somebody who push you a bit, the extra move, you know.
What are you doing? A bit of weight training, a bit of cardio?
Yeah, a bit of everything.
Yeah?
A bit of everything. So I do 1 hour on Monday, 1 hour on Wednesday, half an hour on Saturday.
Fantastic. I love that.
I enjoy it, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're here at the Quality Chop House. You have told me that this is one of your favorite restaurants in London. Why? What do you love about it?
It's simple, you know. It's one of my favorite restaurants because the food is good. I go to a restaurant because I enjoy their food. The service is always friendly, and they got a beautiful wine list too. It helps a lot, and but mainly the food, you know.
Yeah.
So we've been coming here for many years now.
Yeah, nice. So the title of this show is called Double Dipping. Double dipping is, I guess, it's a French term. It's like a double entendre. You know, it's sort of a bit tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
I want to know what your thoughts are on double dipping.
I enjoy it myself because first now it's fashionable to share dishes.
Yeah.
So you do it, and you test it and you like it, you go back again and again and again. And if you don't like it, you leave it to the other one. So it's a good thing. And you know, coming from France when we were young, that's what we are doing. You know, in a kind of it. You know, maybe not on a small plate, but it was a big dish, and you take a little bit, you eat it, you enjoy it, and you go back, and or you stop it.
Well, that's what it's all about. You want to share food with people.
Yeah. Saying that, I quite enjoy too when you got your own plate. So it depends, you know. If it depends the restaurant you are going. Last week we were at the Ritz, for example. You don't do double dipping, but you know you choose what you want to eat, and it can be fantastic too.
Absolutely.
Both ways is good.
Absolutely. Something that I'd love to talk to you about that we actually never touched on the first time we sat down to speak is Food Heroes. This is something that you are sort of head of. Kind of explain what the business is, how it works, and why did you start it?
So the Food Hero, we started first. I stopped working, you know, so I decided to retire. And
when was that? When did you decide to retire?
It was 7 years ago, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that. And I was getting a bit bored. And but the Food Hero started mainly because my wife, Claire, she's a queen of potatoes. That's what they call her. Yeah, she is. And her brother too. They were working in that business, potato and vegetables. So they had the idea to do something for themselves and putting the name of Koffmann on the bag of potatoes. So that's where he started. So, and I enjoy it. You know, he put me back at work, which is fantastic. Yeah?
And so, okay, so you're dealing with potatoes now. So potatoes, and you're supplying. So what's the concept? You're supplying to restaurants, or like someone like me could buy them?
So we supply mainly to restaurants. We don't do supermarket, only restaurant. And so And you just started to do some frozen with Okado.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you can
Yeah.
have, but there will be
Oh, I'll
frozen.
add it to my my shop on
Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah. So fresh potato are only for restaurant.
Okay.
So a few places you can buy it. There is a place in Notting Hill Gate. I don't remember the name of the shop. They sell fish, they sell meat, and they got it. But we don't. You cannot find them in supermarket. That's simple. You know. That's it.
What's your favorite potato?
Oh, there is a lot of potato I enjoy. You know, because potato is something who is living a life. So potato can be that potato that King Edward can be good for 3 months. But after 3 months, it go down in quality, so it will be another potato who take over and so on and so on. So what the system we got is we got bags, big bags, and one is blue, one is red. So the blue, we guarantee that potato is good for frying and roasting. And the other one, we guarantee is good for mashing and different cooking after.
Okay, clever.
So that's it. So he said good for frying, and so, but it doesn't give the name of the potato. But if you want to know, if you are curious, there is a number at the back. You call that number, and they will tell you which potato is in that bag.
Oh, that's so
brand of
interesting.
potato.
I love that.
So,
And still on the subject of potatoes, what's your favorite way to eat a potato?
French fry, I suppose, you know. French fry, but I say that quickly because it came just like that. But mashed potato is fantastic.
Okay.
A potato, a gratin dauphinois. So there is so many dishes potato because we've been fed when we were young. During my life, we've been fed on potato. You eat potato at least once a week.
Do you know what I really like? I've just started eating it a little bit more. I love a jacket potato. How do you feel about a jacket potato?
That is a bit more British. My wife love it, jacket potato. I don't. I like the skin of the jacket potato.
Me too, because it's crispy.
Yeah, that's what
I like.
So
that I very much like.
So and she make it very crispy, the skin. So I eat the skin, but not so much the jacket potatoes.
I love how I just brought that up with a Frenchman.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I would say a French fry is just the ultimate.
A roast potato is fantastic.
Good roast. What's your secret to a good roast potato?
You know, most of I will give you what I think about it, but you know, at home is only Claire who cooks.
I know, you told me that last time.
And she's very good. So the roast potato, she boiled them.
Yeah.
She boiled them and until the side of the potato start to break. And she drain them and check it a little bit to break up, just a bit more. And there she roast them in depend the fat. Sometimes she put that fat, but oil is perfect to do that, you know. So that's a secret until it's very crispy on the outside and yeah.
Oh, I love it. You are the godfather of French cookery as far as the world is concerned. And you've achieved so much in your career. You've won the coveted 3 Michelin stars. You've trained up some of the most important chefs of our generation, Marco Pierre White, Gordon Ramsay, Marcus Waring. Looking back on all of it, what would you say is your legacy?
I hope legacy, I don't know. But I don't think I can find something. But I hope, you know, that they absorb the way I was working and the respect for the food and the respect for the customer is very important because when you cook for the customer. You cook for yourself because you enjoy cooking, but you cook for the customer because the customer pays a bill and he pays your wage at the same time. So that's why you got to respect. So you make sure your food is very good. It should be like perfect, you know. That's the legacy, you know. After you know those young guys who came, they were young when they came to me. So now they do their own thing. Maybe nobody will they don't do the pig slaughter anymore because they don't do what I was doing because it was years ago. And in cooking, everything changed. It's like dresses, you know. There is a fashion, and it comes and go. So, but the legacy will be to respect the customer, enjoy cooking.
Absolutely. I mean, when I listened back to the original conversation that we had in 2021, and you referred to yourself in the old days as a tough chef. You called yourself the bear.
No, I didn't call myself the bear.
Or they called you the bear.
They called me the bear.
Why do you think they called you the bear?
On the good side, it will be because I come from the Pyrenees. and in the Pyrenees we got bear, and on the coat of armor of my town there is a bear.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
they got bear in the Pyrenees.
Okay.
Bears in the Pyrenees.
But
So
sort
I like to believe in that nice story. After maybe I was a bit hard, you know. I'm a bit. I always work in my restaurant as a, you know, if you are the captain of the rugby team, you know.
yeah.
You got to motivate everybody to follow you, or and you got to work in one direction, you know. So I don't know. I don't know if it's a good explanation, but
No, it's a great
that's what I
explanation.
think, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
But, you know, I guess we're also talking about an era of sort of the culinary world where it was a bit tougher, perhaps more than it is nowadays, no?
Yes, it was a bit tougher, but that doesn't mean tougher need to be bad. You know, it was not. I never
Yeah.
punch chef
Yeah.
or burn chef,
Yeah.
or I never done that. But it was a bit tougher because I wanted the chef to do what I show them. You show them a dish, you want them to repeat it not every time.
Mm.
So sometimes, you know, if they don't do it, so during service you got the pressure during
Yeah.
service, so maybe you can little bit shout, yes,
Yeah.
but shouting doesn't mean it's bad, and after service you're friend again, you know.
Absolutely. You actually just mentioned it a second ago. Over the years, obviously, tastes and trends evolve, just like fashion
Yeah.
evolves and sort of ebbs and flows. Looking back on, I guess, where you started and where you took your career, do you think there's still space for traditional French cookery with that sort of focus on technique, which is what you were sort of very renowned for? You know, these days, do you feel like maybe we've moved away from that type of cookery?
No, I don't think so, because everything move, you know, it's like any fashion subject, everything move around, you know. And there is some place who respect it. Like the Ritz will do that very strict on that, you know. There is other place. Wild Année is fantastic, you know. They do the French technique with fantastic. And I think it's important to have the French technique, you know, because how to make a good sauce, for example, you know. But a lot of people don't do it anymore because it's such a variety of restaurant. You know, you got now you got some restaurant is a kind of Lego. You know, they buy that thing. They put it on a plate. It looks nice, and they sell it. You know, so they don't have to have the technique anymore. But it's quite important because you are a chef. You want to enjoy what to do. You are a craftsman. You work with your hand and with your tongue, of course, and with your eyes. And it's a craft to do a beautiful dish. You know, so you need to know all those techniques.
When I had Marco on the podcast, also many years ago, I asked him a question, and I'm going to ask you the same question. It's not actually on my list of questions, but now I've just thought about it, and I'm not going to tell you his answer. The question is, are chefs artists?
Ephemeral artist, yes. You know the ephemeral, what does it mean? Yeah. Ephemeral when you do a dish and it disappear, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So some people like to it's very hard
It's a hard question.
very hard question, because I think I would say no, but some chefs believe they're artists, and maybe we got a big head, but I don't think so. We are what we call artisan. I
There we
will call
go.
me an
Yeah.
artisan, but an artist, no. But there is some.
Speaking of art, the food has arrived. Oh, look at those. Oh, here we go. Potatoes.
Potato.
Oh my gosh. Thank
I think
you
it was one of
so much.
the first restaurant to do.
Look at, oh my
Look at that,
goodness
it's
me.
beautiful
Look at the
dish.
size of
Yeah.
that.
Mm.
Wow.
That's beautiful. Look at. So you got the French technique. Huh?
Yes.
There is a terrine of pork and pistachio, and without the technique, you cannot do it.
Absolutely. Look at this steak. My God. I love it. It's 11 o'clock in the morning and we're eating a.
when we go out with Claire, we got deals. I got deals with Claire. She does the talking, I do the eating.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's the best place to be, I think. They're known for these potatoes. This is like their
I think it was.
they
I
were one
don't-
of the first to.
For me, was the first guy to do it, the first chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw it before here. But
Oh. So we've taken a bit of a slightly longer break because we couldn't hold out.
that's a good idea.
That was an incredibly delicious
Yeah.
meal. That steak was one of the best I've had in a long time.
For me, one of the top one, the
Yeah.
red one, yes, for sure.
Fantastic. And that
the
terrine is
terrine
beautiful.
is perfect. Yeah.
Fantastic. Sort of just back to a couple questions before we sort of round up. You've obviously, you had your restaurant, Le Tonclair. You've cooked in a multitude of restaurants over the years, but now you're the customer. How do you think hospitality and the restaurant world has evolved since you were working in kitchens?
Everything changed with time, of course, but I think it's good. I think so. If you take a restaurant, if you look at the service, it's still very good, I suppose, and very more friendly than it used to be 40 years ago. It's not so stiff and it's more relaxed.
Yeah.
People, waiters and staff have got smile, which is very important. With a big smile, you go everywhere. And on the food side is there is so many restaurants in London everywhere. There is such a variety of restaurants. You got a choice. So we go quite a lot to restaurants, and I still enjoy it very much. As maybe I'm getting as you get older, you tend to go back to what you enjoy when you were young. So like. Lately, I've been to a restaurant, I've been twice because it was very good, called Camille in Borough Market.
Oh, yes. I
And
know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
yeah, it's fantastic. So you got that, it's a bistro. It's a bistro. And I've been to Josephine, for example. There is some place like that. You got such a big choice. So it changed, of course, but you got a choice, you
Yeah.
cannot. I'll not go. The only thing I can talk is about the French food because that's what I've been cooking all my life. But you got middle food, like there is place like Wild Honey. Have you been to Wild Honey? The chef is brilliant.
Wild
Honey.
honey. No, where's that?
In St. James.
Okay.
So you got Fallon. You've been to Fallon.
Yeah.
So you got those places. It changed, but is are more relaxed than they used to be. I remember when I opened Tante Claire, a young couple coming to eat, where they were shaking because they didn't know what they got, 2 fork and 2 knife. And said,
Oh.
what is this? They did so you had to. We had a fantastic maid hotel. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes them relax.
Yeah.
You do what you like in a
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also something that I really love about you, because obviously, I look these days, we can follow everyone on social media and whatever, but you really champion other chefs. Like you'll always talk about
Yeah.
places that you go to, people's cooking that you're
Yeah.
trying, and also emerging talent as well. Who are some of the chefs or who's on the radar at the moment that you just absolutely love?
You got quite a few very good chefs. I don't know if you tried a restaurant called Perilla.
Yes.
He's top Newington.
Yes.
The chef is absolutely brilliant. He got no Michelin star, so doesn't matter. But his food is number one. He got the guy. He got a very good brain, very good taste. He does different dish, but always with a strong dish. So tasty dishes. So that would be my number one. But after you got a lot of good restaurant. Like I say before, we got that Camille is very good. If you go outside of London, you got beautiful restaurant, a very good restaurant. Where before years ago, 20 years ago, it was a desert. It was absolutely nothing. You had to drive 50 miles, 80 miles to find a good restaurant. But now,
well, now there's places around the UK that are kind of becoming destination spots because of the food. You look at what happened to Cornwall.
Yeah.
Let's finish off with a final question. If you could have dinner with one person, dead or alive, Who would it be?
Alors, I think he will be dead for ça will be enough. But it will be General de Gaulle. I don't, yeah. You know,
Okay.
he was during the war, and after he became a French president as well, because he was much what I remember of him, I was young, but he was a guy first who say no to the American. With you got to have the ball to do that, He was a guy who run France and make it profitable. Since he left, the economy of France is on the slide. It's
Yeah.
going down and down. I think it was 3, 4 million of dollar. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a bit lost.
Trillion.
Trillion of money lost, something like that. I don't know where he's going to finish. So Charles de Gaulle will be the number one, because I don't know what I will say to him, because he's such a brilliant guy,
Yeah.
And but I don't know. I think it will be just his presence. You will be shaking when you
Yeah,
see the guy. I mean, you see General de Gaulle. But on the other hand, what I will love to do would have been maybe more. It's not more realistic, because now they're all dead. But it is, the good friend you just lost, and
Yes.
to have the last meal, another meal with them. So I got four people who just passed away in the last 2 years, and sometimes, I miss them, I miss to have a conversation with a team, and and it changed the idea, and different point of view and things like that, and to see them only another time. That was I'd miss,
That's
yeah.
actually a really lovely
Mm,
answer to
yeah.
kind of, well, obviously, Charles de Gaulle, I completely understand that, but also to reconnect with an old friend who
Yeah.
maybe you never got to have that because you never knew that was going to happen, that final
No,
conversation
no.
with them.
Yeah, and they passed away.
Yeah,
They were younger than me, or roughly the same age, some of them. So I'm a lucky one. I'm still
yeah,
here.
yeah,
Yeah, whereas sadly enough, they were not so lucky,
yeah.
and they are gone now. Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
So I don't know if you could have missed my friends and with Charles de Gaulle. I don't know, because
Well,
Charles de
maybe,
Gaulle
do you
will.
know what I'm going to allow? I'm going to allow you to have all of them at the table
Okay.
because it's you,
Yeah.
only you. You're the
Yeah.
only one that's going to get a whole dining table. You can
Yeah.
do it in this room, actually, in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
wonderful private dining room.
Yeah.
Pierre, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to see you. I feel honored that you give me your time. You are an inspiration to many. You're an inspiration to me. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
me.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to see you again.